Using alcohol to relax is not an addiction for most people. It's something that's become a habit. If you're addicted to alcohol, you should be nowhere near alcohol. You should be nowhere near liquor stores. What you should be doing is speaking to your doctor, getting some advice on how to start, see if an alcohol detox is needed. He or she will gladly point you in the right direction with that. If an alcohol detox is needed, it's something that can be done in or outpatient over a very short period of time. Alcohol is no solution. It's not a long-term solution. It's not a short-term solution. It's killing people, especially those who are addicted. There's no doubt about it, and I would read those warning labels and take heed of them again. An alcohol ban for regular people should not be an issue. I think it's a no-brainer in terms of what we're faced with the coronavirus being such a mega social problem. I think that we need to really focus and concentrate on that situation first and heed the president's call. And know that there are unhealthy ways to soothe yourself at the end of the day and healthy ways to do it. You know, there are unhealthy habits that we have, and then there are some healthy habits. And I think most people in the country could use a little time to think about getting rid of some of the negative habits. I think we can all think of healthier ways to self-soothe at the end of the day and benefit from those healthier choices. A ton of people have said, when I've done dry January, or when I've done a 21-day, 30-day, 90-day abstinence from alcohol project, that they've felt better. It's almost unanimous. So mindfulness, looking that up, reading about meditation, going for walks, using your five senses. You know, these are all things that everybody can benefit from, not just people who do yoga. So it's something that's new, and it's something that really pays dividends. If we stick to the unhealthy habits, we end our lives prematurely. We gain weight, and that's, you know, something about quitting alcohol for a month. You're going to see weight loss. You're going to see improved sleep. You're going to see improved relationships, better sex. You're going to see more energy and vitality throughout the day. And of course, things like better skin, healthier looking skin, less moody. And there are a ton of them. Just look them up on the internet, benefits to quitting alcohol. So as a nation, we can do this. And even if it's extended, we can still do it. It's, at the end of the day, just alcohol. You know, when we're speaking about cigarette smoking, we are speaking about the deadliest drug on the planet. Don't think heroin, any of them are more deadly than nicotine. And, you know, the data's out there, the studies are out there. So worrying and figuring out that you can't smoke during the 21 days is most certainly uncomfortable. And, you know, any kind of change is uncomfortable. But some people will get the benefit of looking at this situation that we've been given and that we all find ourselves in, and looking at the glass half full and not empty. Alcohol is a nervous system depressant. That means that if you do drink alcohol, you might have a fleeting time where you feel carefree and stress-free and so on, but it actually creates the opposite effect. It actually adds to depression, anxiety, stress. Smoking cigarettes increases your blood pressure. It increases your heart rate, even though you're saying it relaxes you. Look at the warning labels again and rethink cigarette smoking. And I think that is number one in this lockdown. That is the number one thing that we can take from it. Whether you agree or disagree, re-look at what we are faced with here. Alcohol and cigarettes are incredibly expensive in South Africa. So do the math, add up, see what you could save in 7 days, see what you could save in a month, and spend on things like data, researching things like mindfulness meditation. The data that you could use at NAAA groups online that are happening all over the world right now. I mean, every hour on the hour, there are a multitude of meetings to choose from. So we can even use our money more wisely. Our heart inside, our brains are affected by these things. Our central nervous system is affected by alcohol. And I think that's why people have felt this, almost some people like a panic when they're deprived of the alcohol and cigarettes. And it's highly understandable. I mean, it's far from comfortable for most people. It is just a situation that we need to accept for today, and then maybe build upon as something we can change our behavior through developing a new awareness. I think, is the alcohol ban liked by people? Definitely not. I don't see what kind of change, uncomfortable change, is going to feel like a good thing. But is it necessary? Yeah, it's more than necessary. I think it's life-saving at the moment. The ban on alcohol and cigarettes has brought up a ton of emotions for people, and a lot of people are wanting to lift the mandate that's been given from the president to stop production of alcohol, stop the selling of alcohol and cigarettes during this time. And of course people are fighting back. And whether it's justified or not, people will have to decide for themselves. I think there's many different aspects to the argument, and one of them definitely come our way to the center is, is banning alcohol detrimental to addicts? And there's an absolute outcry about it, and what should we do? And firstly, I think that alcoholics shouldn't be anywhere near alcohol, whether it's during a lockdown or not. There is of course, justification brought through by detox. Will there be a negative effect from detox? And, I suppose that's something people are going to have to take up with their doctors. But when we're speaking realistically, if we are looking at an average country running a 10% population that suffers the disease of addiction, then we would say a very small percentage of that is based on people who are alcoholics, and an even smaller portion of that are people who are going to need a physical detox intervention from a doctor or a hospital. So that is necessary. It's been tested around the world. The data's out there. It affects your skin negatively. It can affect your sex life. And definitely, people think that alcohol and nicotine relax them, when in actual fact it does the opposite. It increases heart rate, it increases blood pressure. And I mean, that's instantaneous. The long-term effects are disastrous. Read the warning labels. It's heart disease, it's cancers, it's all the big stuff. And chronic illness is something that we can all be prepared for in a preventative way. So a 21-day lockdown is really an opportunity to re-look at your relationship with alcohol and cigarettes. I mean, cigarettes are far from in the clear. I think the last figures I read were 400,000 people died from cigarette smoking last year. That's a lot of people. Hopefully a far larger number than Corona will take in the end. And people who have done an abstinent month, something like Dry January in the UK, there are tons of break your habit 21-day abstinence alcohol plans all over the world. They're popping up all over social media, and most people without a doubt describe positive circumstances from it. So, I think addictions are created most of the time. So there are many different kinds of addiction, but generally someone becomes an alcoholic. They're describing, sort of dependence more and more on alcohol over 10, 20 years, something to relax in the evening. And Often people just describe it as something getting out of control that they thought was something that other people would suffer from, but not them. And it kind of creeps up. It's a silent killer for sure, but it's also silent disease, and it definitely breaks down families. It causes a ton of strife. So we really need to look at this alcohol lockdown as, on a macro level, saving people's lives. You know, when people drink, they are going to forget social distancing. Boom, it's going to go out the window. They're going to become aggressive. The police and emergency services are going to have to focus all of their energies elsewhere, and their energies are quite honestly needed to keep this whole situation under control. So I don't think it's a decision that the president took lightly, but it's definitely one that we can try and follow. Although it's uncomfortable for a lot of people, it's something that can really deeply benefit you, and at the very least rethink your relationship with alcohol.